Hi, MM. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com, and I'm listening to a speaking practice test that you sent me yesterday. I have the independent speaking rubrics here, and let's listen to your practice test.
For me, I totally agree with that for many reasons. First, using digital textbooks save
You
money.
see, that totally agree for many reasons. You don't have that much time to talk about all these things, so I think you need a little bit more specific topic statement in the beginning.
For instance, students have only to buy 8-inch tablet by $100 or $200 for
Instead of saying, for instance, why don't you state your first reason and then give an example after that? Doesn't that make sense?
one time instead of spending thousands of dollars buying textbooks and lectures every year. Second, using digital textbooks encourages students to use modern
Let's say encourages.
technologies by the right way. For example, student can use his or her laptop or tablet to study instead of spending hours chatting on Facebook or playing video games. Finally, digital books save money and energy.
Yeah, I think you're trying to do too many reasons there. That's why your response in the beginning was so open-ended. But I recommend maybe state one or two reasons and then spend time giving an example to support that reason. That's going to show a little bit more depth and progression of thought.
Which are needed to print or recycle paper. For these three reasons, I think digital textbooks should be only available for university students to save money and energy and to encourage new generation to use technologies by the right way.
Right. So I think the introduction is more important than the conclusion. If you don't have a conclusion that restates everything, I don't see that as a big problem. But definitely, the introduction needs to frame what's happening in your response. Uh, my first impression is right around 3, but let me listen to it one more time. I won't make any comments this time.
For me, I totally agree with that for many reasons. First, using digital textbooks save money. For instance, students have only to buy
Instead of saying how you said it, just say using digital textbooks are more beneficial than physical textbooks. You could just say it like that. Just state that statement and then go to first, second, and third reasons instead of saying for many reasons.
8-inch
And the way that I frame the introduction, it restates the question so the purpose is more clear from the beginning.
tablet by $100 or $200 for one time instead of spending thousands of dollars buying textbooks and lectures every year. Second, using digital textbooks encourages students to use modern technologies by the right way. For example, student can use his or her laptop or tablet to study instead of spending hours chatting on Facebook or playing video games. Finally, digital books.
Your structure is pretty good. I'm going to give you some credit on that. I like your use of transition words to help organize point by point by point. So you definitely have some good structure to the response.
Save money and energy which are needed to print or recycle paper. For these
Now, believe it or not, this is where you need to end right here. So, and that's okay, right? Because you have all of the important information here, even though you have another 15 seconds for the conclusion. I don't think it would lower your score that much. So just make sure, try to fit everything within the 45-second time frame. Okay, I'm going to go by the score that I said initially. I think 3. I'm going to say 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30. You're improving. I think you're getting better. So I still recommend a little bit better introduction. You can go to TOEFL Independent Speaking Strategies Lesson 1 to see some example introductions and some model responses I put into that lesson. Your language use overall is not bad. You have pretty good control of your grammar and your vocabulary. So your score here is 23 points out of 30.